Dude, I'm from Brooklyn. This is real, bro. Like, if I'm spending $500 to get this console and I'm playing a game that I just played last year again, like, I'm not, like, that just makes no sense to me. Anyway, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Super Late at 368. I'm Gabe Olivero, as always. With me today is the writer extraordinaire. He just actually wrote something with Logic recently. It's Bijan Stevens, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going, Bijan?
Yeah, it's going well. Cheers, everybody. Welcome. I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I mean, today is like, it's a good energy. We got we're doing something new with the show today.
It's true, we are.
Yeah. We're doing 4 guests, actually. It's a round table.
4 guests. We're not guests. We host the show. We have 2 guests.
I mean, I think of myself as like a guest, It's just
Oh
like,
boy. Oh boy. We're gonna talk after stream.
Today we're gonna have Danny Peña on a little bit. We're gonna bring him on and we're gonna like talk through the news together and like get his opinions, et cetera. And then later we're gonna talk mad Xbox with Allegra Frank, who's a writer. I forgot, she was a writer for what website again?
She's at Vox. She was at Polygon for one time. But yeah, she's the homie. She was also on the Xbox roundtable. She will be on the Xbox roundtable. She was at the Xbox event earlier today, which is what we're fucking talking about. So get excited for that.
We're talking all boxes.
It's gonna be so good. But Gabe, I think you got an intro to do for Danny.
Oh,
right?
That's right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this man is the first return guest on Super Late. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Won't happen again. I'm playing with you.
Yes, guys. It will.
That definitely will happen again. Danny was in the studio today, so we're like, you know what, Danny, you got to come in. He's been doing work all day about Xbox. This is the guy you kind of want to have on the show. He is the man with over 1,000 podcast episodes on Gamer Tag Radio. You see him on almost every Spanish news channel when it comes to gaming. Like, literally, I see him doing interviews all day, every day. It is the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man with the voice that can get us all excited. It is Danny Peña from Gamer Tag Radio. Danny! We had a lot happen this past week though in news. So Bijan, why don't you take it from the top, buddy?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me get my notes out.
Oh, he's got to get he don't even have the notes ready.
So
That's
it's a long list of news.
It has been a very long day, boys. Very, very long day. Danny, also thank you for being here. Thank you for being our first repeat guest. I'm glad to have you on the show again.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get to the fucking news. Oh, Gamer Tag Radio's in the chat.
Yeah.
We have some news. The top story today is the one you all know. It's very sad. Not really. Sort of sad. Mixer's last day was a ghost town. It officially shut down yesterday. I think they fucked it up and it actually officially shut down today. Whoops, Microsoft. And the last day was very, very empty. Kotaku covered it. It was a wonderful piece. And the quote here is, "It's been a month since the news of Mixer's closure hit streamers like a Microsoft-branded bag of hammers. At the time, it was heartbreaking," which is true. And yeah, we've actually over the last month been talking to a series of Mixer streamers every week about like the impending transition and how they're navigating it. Most of them are going to Twitch, some are going to Facebook Gaming. All of them are upset because they spent years building their careers and their followings, and I don't know, it's kind of sad. How did you guys stop in to the website? I looked in right at the end and I saw one guy streaming Forza, and I was like, bro. And it turned out he was actually also streaming on Twitch via Restream, so I didn't feel that bad, but damn.
Well, I'll tell you this, because I think that if you have a strong community that follows you everywhere, right? It doesn't matter if it's on Twitch, Facebook, or it can be any other website. They're gonna follow you wherever you go. That's what's more important is your community, not a platform. Because I think a lot of us are depending on that so much, man.
I agree. But the thing about platforms is like you can't always recreate the circumstances that made someone follow you, which is the hard thing, right? Like you can't recreate that serendipity, which is what I wrote in my piece, which is not linked here for some reason. Mods?
I don't think we got mods.
I know.
My application's out soon.
But Jim Basco's in chat. Jimmy Mondel, host of the Polygon Quibi Speed Run, says, honestly feel Microsoft did Mixer streamers a favor. Like, cool, the community was tight, but that's it because it was so small and irrelevant. Switching over to Twitch will help out, albeit a weird transition period, which I think is true. I think,
No, keep going. Sorry, my chat is like delayed for some reason.
No, I just think overall it's like It's kind of a sad thing. I can't imagine like having a platform that I spent so much time on like shut down and then, you know, sort of leave me in the lurch. So I'm feeling some empathy. I really like talking to those streamers. If you check out the last 3-4 episodes of the show,
Yeah,
you can see those interviews. They're great.
we interviewed several partners, those being Brittany and Covent, who were top tier, the power couple of Mixer. Also Envade. We had Cooley Smiley on. We also had Split the Wig on. We were gonna interview one more person, but you know, Danny took priority over that person.
Okay, don't dunk on more Mixer partners. Come on, bro.
Shady.
Anyway.
Nah, we love Mixer. I mean, I do like my relationship with that platform and Jimmy as well. Like, we got a lot of our chops like on camera work at the Mixer studio in the Microsoft store in New York City. So like Mixer had always like a nice little spot in my heart just because like all the people I met there, the friends I have. I wouldn't know Zune if I didn't do stuff there. I mean, she recruited me to do a job there, and that's how I got into this whole industry. So it's you know, it's a little bittersweet, but I mean, when you spend $50 million on 2 partners and nothing really comes of it, and you do a bunch of commercials that never air, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
There were some big L's right at the end there.
Massive L's.
Huge, just big L's that they're holding still. And now everyone, you know, Facebook gaming, that transition is entirely fucked because nobody wants to stream on Facebook. We should check in with Invade at some point.
Yeah,
just to
I mean,
see how
he's
it's
been
going
killing
there.
it. He's been getting like 1,000 concurrents plus every stream. Like Invade is my boy Maddie also, who's been streaming for about a year on Facebook Gaming. He's grown from like 0 to like 15,000 followers on Facebook Gaming. So there's definitely a spot for it and a market for it. And it's like, I think some people should give it a try. I know that the initial barrier of like, oh, I have to either make a separate profile or use my main profile is a little jarring to people. And, you know, you're having information out there, like people get doxxed all the time in the gaming community. So it's like, you gotta be a little protective. But hey, give it a shot, man. If you're a new creator, I mean, Twitch is not going anywhere. So
yeah, it's true. You can always go to Twitch. Yeah, I also think, you know, like the dynamics of growing a channel are different on every platform. It is really hard to get noticed on Twitch.
Oh, 100%.
I think the bar for entry is slightly lower on Facebook, but it is a very different place.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, rip to Mixer. All the best to the partners. Anyway, in other news, fucking great news, Rocket League is going free to play and it's leaving Steam. It's going to Epic. It's on the Epic Games Store. So yeah, another Kotaku story. As part of the free-to-play update, Rocket League, which currently sells for $20, will finally support cross-platform progression by tying player inventories and competitive rankings to a unified Epic Games account. And that's fucking amazing. Because guys, it means Rocket League is going to be a real fucking esport, and you don't have to pay for it. I'm very excited. Do you play Rocket League, Gabe and Danny? Are you guys like fans?
Danny, go ahead.
Loving that game.
I played it. I have it on Xbox and also on Nintendo Switch. So I'm wondering if the Switch is also going to be crossplay with everything else too. I don't know if
Probably. I mean,
if Epic's handling it, I would assume it just be everybody can play together regardless. Rocket League's probably going to come on mobile at some point too to just complete, you know, the full dominance. I mean, Rocket League is like the most legit esports in terms of it's actually in the Olympics. So it's kind of like it was going to be in the Tokyo Olympics this year. Unfortunately, due to COVID, we didn't get that.
God, rip to that.
So like I think it's got the most respect out of all the games that have competitive scenes. I don't play it. My brain is just too smooth for it.
It's a very wrinkly brain game. It's funny because like it's easy to get into, but it is so hard to get good at. Holy shit! And that's how you know it's going to be a good fucking esport.
One thing we also got to think about is this is for Epic. Epic Games acquired the studio a while back, and it worked for them with Fortnite. Having that game for free and it was huge success is going to be the same exact thing for this game too, man, for them. So there's a reason why they're doing that, man, to get more of a bigger audience than just selling it, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And also like it already has a wild cosmetics scene. Like the car stuff is pretty cool. You can put little hats on your car. Can you believe that you can put a hat on your car? I love it. And I think it's actually it'll be very interesting to see. I'm definitely gonna pick it back up because I haven't played it in
the hat on your car is the thing that gets you, right? The little tiny little hat.
It's actually the hat that you can put on your antenna is actually the one.
Oh, that's the one that gets.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, bro.
He would be that guy.
I love that shit. Anyway, moving on to some more crazy shit. This is a funny story. Kid gives away $20,000 of parents' monies to streamers without them knowing.
Oh god. Yo, we were joking if like we were off camera, we were saying me, Danny, and Bijan and Zoom. We were like, yo, if that was one of us and our parents found out about that, it is over.
Brad, you wouldn't see me here, man. I would have been
wouldn't be here
somewhere else. Who knows where? That's crazy. Like, why would he do that, man?
I just also like the the wild thing to me is like the mom had no fucking idea. Like
You know,
it's like, bro, okay.
$20,000 charge in your car just slips by, right? Like,
Right,
oh
right,
my
but
god.
it's not $20,000. It's like it's got to be $20,000 over a period of time, right? Because you like I was drunk on Twitch last night and I was like, oh, the max number of subs you can donate is 100 at one time, and that is $500. But like like if you like rack up charges over a long period of time, maybe you could hit $20,000. I don't know how you do that. That's a lot of fucking money.
The parents must make a dumb amount of money for them not to notice 20 G's disappearing.
Now, my question to you guys,
tier 3 subs.
Do you think that they could get that money back?
No.
No.
Oh, absolutely not.
So it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
So the way they could get that money back is if the person themselves refunds it through PayPal. Like this was a very similar thing with Pokemon when COVID just kicked off. Someone had donated some money to her, and they were like, "Hey."
One guy, and it was one guy, and it was like $6, and she was like, "Yeah, I'll refund it."
He was like, I'm actually gonna need the money because I lost my job. And then she was like, all right, I'll go ahead and I'll refund it for you. But like who received the majority of this money, Bijan? Do we know?
I don't know. I don't know who received the majority, but it did go to like Tfue, Gorb.
Yeah, they ain't getting that shit back.
I would be sick if I found out my kid was donating to Tfue, man. I'd be like, come on, that's my money. What
you
are you doing?
You got a problem with Tfue? What's wrong with Tfue?
No, nothing. I'm just like, what? Like, I don't know. Like, pick a smaller streamer. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, yeah.
Oh nah. It's gotta be all Fortnite, people they donated to. Yeah. There's no way that kind of money's gonna donate to anybody else. Not even a League of Legends streamer, dude. Like that's this.
It's true.
Buku cash.
Crazy.
The mom has contacted customer service to see if there is some remedy. If we have an update, folks, we'll give it to you. I don't think we'll have one, but I'm leaving open the possibility. Also, shouts to Pokémon for being nice. Come on our show. Anyway, moving on. Speaking of parents and money, a dad does not even like Pokemon has sold his card collection for $30,000. So I guess if he links up with the other mom, if that guy links up with the mom, they could maybe work something out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, 34-year-old dad from England who does not nor has ever liked Pokemon still managed to get himself
Nigel Brooks
cards when he was a kid. Yeah. When his mom gave him the set because he was very nice to his little brother. And I guess he just held on to them for however many fucking years.
Look, I wish I could say that I had that same story that I can just sell cards for 30 G's a couple years later, but my mom threw out all my things from my childhood that were either a toy or a card. I think I held on. I think I have my one original Blue Eyes White Dragon from Yu-Gi-Oh. I still got that. Like she didn't get that. She wasn't getting that. But everything else she got. And I had holographic Charizard from the original pack. I had all of the shit, bro.
You make me sick. You're making me sick.
No, I'm sick. I could have been retired right now. But my mom got in my way.
Wow, bro. She also brought you into this world, so you should be grateful. Moving on. In some YouTube news, Game Theory is releasing a third section of their channel. Game Theory is a channel that's become a household name in the world of YouTube. And the third section of their logo is finally going to be released. I don't know what it's going to be. I also don't watch this channel. Gabe, do you watch this channel?
I do watch Matt Pat, and it's not a theory. It's just a theory. It's a game theory. His content is always really good. I mean, deep dives into different types of games, theories and games, things. I know Danny knows about the channel. He has a separate channel where they have like film theory too. So maybe this one will probably be like anime theory or TV theory, something around that. I can totally see that happening. How about you, Dan?
I'm a casual viewer. Like once in a while, if there's something that gets my attention, I watch it. But I'm telling you, it makes you think, man. After watching those videos, like, wait a minute,
could it be? Is this why? Is Luigi actually dead in Luigi's mansion? Like stuff like that is always very interesting.
Oh man,
Early on in the channel, but like for a while now, like when YouTube was like really becoming super popular, everybody wanted to be a YouTuber. He would do like deep dives on like how to like optimize like your YouTube videos, even to like what color stands out in your thumbnails. Like Matt Pat was always a really great, and he's straight by the numbers data guy. So you would get like, well, we did this with these channels and this worked. So it's like if you implement this and that, this may work. Like very great guy. I wish him all the success in the world. He also has a YouTube Red series. I don't know if it's still ongoing now, but they did like weird. It's kind of like it was like Mythbusters except game theory, not Mythbusters.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, but it's
So I
dope.
should
It's
watch
really
it.
cool.
Is what you're
Yes,
telling
you
me.
should. You should watch
Yeah.
a couple videos.
There's
Jay
something-
Budin
Oh,
in
go for it.
chat.
Yeah.
Jess Budin, our intern, shouts to you. Thank you for your help with this episode.
Oh,
Says it released as food theory. So I guess we have an answer. I guess we have an answer.
I'm gonna go watch the first video because like I love the food
You gonna watch
shows.
it
Like,
while we're on stream, bro.
oh hell no,
Right
that's
now?
probably like a 20-minute video, dude. You bugging. Like no, like I mean I love like the shows like Fuck That's Delicious with Action Bronson.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and of course Anthony Bourdain. You know when he went out and did those whole things like traveling, doing the food show. So I definitely watch something like this.
Hell yeah.
Good for Matt, bro. Good for Matt.
Yeah. Also, he was on the Xbox showcase earlier today.
That's right.
Maybe we'll get some insight from Allegra
Yo,
about
Danny,
what it was
hook
like
us
to work
up.
with him. Yeah, Danny, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Mr. Xbox guy, hook us up, man.
Oh,
What's going on?
I have a lot of things to
Anyway,
say about Xbox later. That's later.
in our last piece of news, before we hit the break and bring on Allegra, celebs. Logic is streaming on Twitch. Yes, that's right. Logic, the rapper, who you may or may not have heard of, multi-platinum selling recording artist. He recently announced that he's retiring from rap. And then like the same day, talked to me on the phone and was like, hey man, I got a 7-figure deal with Twitch. And I got a 7-figure deal with Twitch and I'm having a kid. So I'm spending more time doing this now, which is cool. So yeah, I talked to him. He's a really nice dude. It was great. He was telling me that his channel is going to be like AMAs. It's going to be music production. It's going to be gaming. He told me he's going to play The Last of Us 2 because he's in that game, which is pretty cool. Imagine playing a game that you're in. I love it. Yeah, I don't know. Guys, are you interested at all? I don't know. I was interested more of like the mechanics of streaming, as far as like, you know, it's like they signed a big name again, and this is the first signing we've seen in a very long time. A few months at least.
Go ahead, Danny. I know you had
All right,
something to say.
so something about Logic. First of all, I'm a fan of his music. Like I really enjoy this man from way back. But the thing I like about Logic, man, like he is actually a fan of games. It's not like a lot of these celebrities that will play like Madden, NBA 2K, Call of Duty, like the well-known games, right? No, he plays everything. Actually, I follow him on the Mario Maker game, Mario Maker 2, where
does he make levels?
Yeah, he makes levels, really, really cool levels too, man.
Yeah, Logic's a fragger.
Yeah. So he's a huge fan, and he performed at E3 a couple years ago.
He has a YouTube channel right now. Like he's been making gaming content for a while. I mean, there's the very famous interview. Damn, I should have gave it to Zoom to play. I forgot. It was where he's like, yo, like Logic, like, what do you do? Like, what do you do? You go out? He's like, oh no, I don't fuck with nobody. No, I don't go out. I just stay at home with my wife and my kid and my dog. Homies come over and, you know, I just play video games. Like, no, I don't fuck with nobody. Like, I don't go outside. Yeah. Like, he's dope, man. His music's great. He's always had like a couple references to like video games and like anime in his songs. I mean, yeah, like you said, Bijan, is this gonna be the next like frontier of signing people? Because as we just saw, like the Ninja and Shroud thing didn't work out. Clearly, Doc is gone. It's like I think Devin Nash dropped a video. We need to get Devin Nash on the show. But Devin Nash dropped a video today where he was talking about how the esports scene and like gaming scene, how like all the things are inflated and like the values just isn't there, especially when it comes to ad dollars. And just it's like these people aren't making people buy stuff, which is like why you like do these ads and stuff. Like, oh yeah, if we get them, they're gonna buy Xbox, they're gonna buy games, they're gonna buy these hardwares. Because merch, regardless of anything, doesn't make up the majority of anybody's sales, right? It's usually software, hardware, right? That's what you want to sell, big ticket items. So it's interesting. Maybe who else are gonna sign? They signed Drake to Caffeine. Nothing's happened there.
Well, no. The thing that happened was Drake brought the Ultimate Rap League to Caffeine. That was the deal. Like they were being real. I talked to them back when they signed him, and they were being real squirrely about it, like really, really squirrely. And it's because Drake wasn't actually going to be streaming. The other thing, I mean, because like Caffeine doesn't have they don't have the audience yet to really demand anything of the people they're trying to sign. But yeah, I think Logic is an interesting choice because I do think, you know, in a lot of ways it is very smart for Twitch because it's going to bring in maybe a new audience, but it's going to activate people who are already sort of fans because this is going to be according to him, the only place he's going to be interacting with anybody online. And imagine the number of subs, you know what I mean? Twitch gets half of every single one. That's like that's a lot of money, like potentially. Because Logic also, like when he streams, like he averages like 20,000, 30,000 people. He's really like, you know, he's a really like person. And I also think it's interesting because Twitch is moving more into the world of music. They signed ahead of music recently. And like, obviously since the pandemic, they've had a lot of musicians join the platform. My opinion is they prefer DJs or not necessarily,
Yeah.
they don't prefer DJs. They prefer EDM producers because they don't have to clear the music and like there's no like DMCA takedowns around that stuff.
Yep.
But it'll be interesting to see what happens with Logic because I mean like if he makes music on stream, like what does that mean? And like there are all these really interesting questions about copyright and what it's going to look like in practice. But his first stream is set for tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, Danny was saying how he was supposed to be. There was like some issues with dropping his album because his final album comes out tomorrow, right, Danny?
Tomorrow, tomorrow.
No,
like 12 a.m.
Yeah,
it's midnight tonight. Yeah.
So here's the thing with him. That I will mention very quick. It's gonna work out for him. He's gonna retire from the music business temporary, hopefully.
Of course, everybody says that.
Sure. But at least he can stay home, create content from home, and be with his kid, right?
Yeah.
And but remember, it worked out for T-Pain. He's streaming all the time on Twitch.
Yeah.
You know, and there's other artists too that I follow. Murs, he's a hip hop underground.
Yeah,
artist.
Murs, yeah.
And he creates, and he's a fan. He's a fan of gaming.
Yeah.
So if you're a fan, I think if it feels real, it's not like, hey, I'm trying to be a gamer, just to get the fans. No. They're legit. So I think it's gonna work out for not only for them but also for Twitch.
I think that's the key thing, right? It's like we've had partners or big people who have massive audience. My favorite one is the example of Jake Paul and Logan Paul, right? About 2 years ago when Twitch did its another push into like the zeitgeist, everybody's awareness. Like Fortnite was popping off. Logan Paul and Jake Paul went and made Twitch accounts and they started streaming on Twitch. And they got like 40,000, 20,000 people watching them live. But then every day they went live afterwards because they just sucked at Fortnite. And they're not live entertainers, they're VOD entertainers. Like the audience kept dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. Like you just can't be someone who just is just doing this as a form of it. Like you have to really be passionate about it. And you have to love what you're doing. Like it's not just something you just pick up and add to your portfolio. Oh, I guess I should do Twitch streams. No, you have to be about it. What are you gonna say, Bijan, before I cut you off? Sorry.
No, I'm just it's interesting because like you're right. Like this is, and it's like this is another step in like the historical partnership between like rap and video games, because this has been going on since like the late 90s.
Grew up together.
And it's like all these people have grown. Yeah, they grew up with rap. They grew up playing video games, and it's like very natural that they find each other like here. But I think it's a really smart move, and I think I'm actually really excited to see what happens because again, like this is a huge audience. Like Logic has a lot of fans.
Yep.
It's a lot of new Twitch accounts. It's a lot of subs. It's a lot of bits. It's like it makes a lot of sense. But also the other thing they did, I think, that is smart is like he has a weekly streaming quota that he has to hit, like a certain number of hours he has to be live. He didn't tell me how much that was, which is fair, but he said he would easily exceed doing that. But I assume it's got to be like
a 40-hour work week.
I assume it's like 4 hours a week that he has to hit to like maintain the contract. But I think he'll be like, if he's not like doing music for a job, right? Like I think he'll be streaming more. And also like, I don't know, that sounds fun, right? Like it's like, I would love to retire from my day job to like stream on Twitch just to even to see it, like try it out, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what easily he could do? He could play unreleased songs on Twitch.
Oh,
like, he could do that. He could.
This is from my vault.
Or he could, do other things, man. Maybe creating a song behind the scenes, and here, the camera,
the production, everything, what goes into it, sampling, breaking it down.
Yeah, it's not only gaming. He could do so many different things, man.
I also feel like he'd be really good at live streaming. I don't know why. I just get the feeling like he was very charming over the phone, and I was surprised because I'm not a huge fan of his music, but I was like, oh fuck, I gotta talk to this guy. And then I was like, shit, he's a really nice dude. He's really smart. He's really about it. Like we talked for like half an hour and we were supposed to talk for like 15 minutes. I was like, oh yeah, like this is a guy who gets it. And I think if he brings that same energy, like he'll be super successful on Twitch. And like he already has been. So
my question for you, Bijan, did you find out if he's going on tour for this album at some point?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know.
Because it's not gonna happen anytime soon.
I know. Like, it's like you would do your final album, right? And then you do your going away tour, which is just like that's what usually people do.
But it makes so much sense because he doesn't want to leave his house anyway, right? Like he just wants to be streaming. Like obviously I would release an album and be like, yeah, fuck it. All right, I'm staying at home. My fans are coming to me. Like I get to control everything about this. I don't know. It makes sense. But he was telling me he was really excited to do this because he was like, yeah, I sell out Madison Garden and it's a Tuesday. And I was like, damn, all right, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
dude,
I need to pull that off. Let me tell you.
I went to go see him at Barclays a couple times and it was always jam packed to the roof. Yeah. And it was like last minute shows. Boom. Oh, I'm doing a show. Logic's doing a show. Everything's sold out. What?
Yeah. And it's like, this is a new challenge, right? It's like streaming is hard. It's
hardest thing to do. Hardest thing to do out of all the
Yeah.
entertainments, like any form of it. Like YouTube is infinitely easier. You know, you can shoot all your videos on Sunday, send them to an editor if you have an editor. That's done, and you can think about your next thing. Where it's just streaming is just like when we had Cooley on, right? You're
Mhm.
literally performing, you're entertaining, and
You gotta.
it's so crazy because people who join your stream, they could be anybody, and they could just not fuck with you, you know. And then it's just like what you're doing is just not going to connect with them, and it's the
Mhm.
hardest thing to break into, and it always makes. Also don't know why people like really idealize being a Twitch streamer. I don't understand it completely yet. Like, what is it about live streaming?
It's a cool job.
I mean, live, yeah, but like, dude, like Logic gets the benefit of he can stream like maybe 4 or 5 hours and he's good. He's got a
Mhm.
multi-million-dollar contract. I know somebody who's literally been streaming for 2 years, 24 hours. Like he does like 3 or 4 24-hour streams a week or something like that.
Ugh.
And like he gets like 4 or 5 concurrents. Like he's been doing that for 2 years.
4 or 5.
Like exactly. And I'm like, dude, like at this point, this like you got it's like
Bro,
what
we
is
gotta.
it about
Is he up right now? Is he up right now? We should rate him.
I
the
mean,
end of
let
the
me
show.
see. Let me look Jay up.
But no, I mean, like, because honestly, like, I've spoken about this before in other formats, but like, I think building an audience on Twitch is like the hardest thing to do. It's one of the hardest things to do online. Like, it's not because like when you start from nothing, you start from like your friends or whatever. You don't like the path to growth is very difficult because you have to either game the algorithms or get noticed by somebody big by being really good at a video game, or just like be entertaining enough that people tell their friends about you.
Yeah.
Or like if you know people who stream, they can like boost your stream
Raid
and stuff.
you,
That doesn't even
et cetera.
guarantee, but that doesn't even
No.
guarantee viewers though. It doesn't
Yeah.
guarantee people stick around. So it is fascinating. I mean, and I think again, like logic is set. We're also streaming on Twitch right now, so this is a very meta conversation.
Big brain, big brain.
big brain. But yeah, shouts to us for doing a hard thing right now. Thank you, chat. Thanks for that affirmation, chat. Anyway, shall we throw to a break? Get Allegra in here and
Yeah, let's get this
come right back?
roundtable going. Let's talk about Xbox. That's what I really want to
Yeah.
know.
Ooh,
Allegra Frank is the associate culture editor at Vox.com. Before that was a great writer at Polygon. She's covered everything. She streamed everything. She's been on like every internet show that I really like, including the Polygon show where she's a co-host. Allegra, welcome to 368. And thank you for joining us for this roundtable. We also have Danny and Gabe. Danny, well, you heard the intro already. Gabe, and I guess Gabe needs no introduction. Gabe, do you need an introduction? Do I have to do one for you?
Can you do one for me? I just want to see. I want to see if you can do it. Let me see.
I don't know if I can. Fuck.
Oh, you clear your throat for this one? Okay.
Gabe! I don't know, man. He's 368's man, behind the man. The guy who knows everything about Xbox and anime and Saturday morning cartoons. Can you fucking believe it?
Can you dig it?
I can dig it.
Bijan,
Anyway,
I'm gonna rate your
working on it.
opening. Okay, like usually I do the openings for guests. I'm gonna give Bijan a solid. I like the 1 out of 5 rating. The 1 out of 10 is just too broad. I'm gonna give you about a 3.2. You got a 3.2.
Hey, that's not bad for my first
for your first one. You know, a little bit more pizzazz. You know, a little bit more cake, a little more cake on there. You know, and you could be a contender. You could be a contender.
All right, chocolate cake next time. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to our roundtable. We're not around a table, but it is a roundtable. Let's talk Xbox. Allegra, you were on the show. How did that happen? What was that like? Why were you on the show? What did you think?
It's the actual Xbox show, the whole shebang. I was in the Halo. I have been. That was a joke. It's fun. It wasn't funny. It's okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Jeff Keighley, he hosts the pre for usually, E3 press conferences every year with YouTube, and he has had me on before. I think the last time I did one was probably 2018.
Nice.
Since then, and since E3 is kind of not a thing, or it literally is not a thing, doing their own events like the PlayStation event no one remembers, and Nintendo is maybe gonna do it direct. Like, who knows what's going on? But Xbox is like the only company, or Microsoft's the only company that's been trying to do anything traditional this year. So in honor of that, or to accompany that, Jeff had his regular. So because I've done it before, I guess he reached out and asked me to come chat about Xbox. It
was great.
Often asked to do. Yeah, thanks.
You
and
were
Danny,
you
go
were
ahead, sorry.
you were I was gonna say you were the only funny person on that whole pre-show.
There you go.
Go on.
There you go.
Shots fired.
There you go.
I mean, look, everyone was like, Matt Pat was on it, and everyone was just like serious. I was like, what's going? Where are the jokes? And then I realized everyone was improvising, and then I felt more sympathetic.
You felt more sympathetic at that point. Yo, Danny, you also all day today you've been doing so much stuff for Xbox as well. You know, because you are the industry plant.
Yeah, I don't know about I don't know about industry plant. But,
Gabe, that's harsh.
Look,
he betrayed me when we were in the call out of this right now.
Look, I'm gonna say something very quick, man.
I mean, let's go. Let me hear it.
The first event that I went to from Xbox was 19 years ago.
Holy shit!
And the first game that I played from Xbox, 'cause I was like, I was a hardcore Nintendo fan. I was like, I don't care about anything else. And then I heard that Xbox was in town to promote their original console. And I got to play Halo Combat Evolved for the first time. Game changer. I was like, all right, game changer. I got to see the Halo Infinite footage today. Infinite footage. It felt like the 19 years ago. They're back. Halo is back. Halo is back. Goosebumps from the
Danny grew his hair back watching that shit.
Yes, big time.
This man was like, yo, I can feel the simulation. I was like, yo, what the fuck?
I have to say, Danny, I agree with you because I remember like the first Halo. I remember my first time playing fucking on Blood Gulch in Halo Combat Evolved, and I was like, bro, this shit is different. And today I did feel the same way. I was like, I saw a grunt get mowed down, and something awoke in me. Dude, I was just like, bro.
Even the cover, you got to see the cover they released yesterday. Is exactly similar to Combat Evolved. So okay, we're taking it back. Because look, let's be real, man. What was the last great Halo game? It was like Halo 3, maybe?
Halo 3.
Okay. Hold on. If we're talking story, Halo 3. Halo Reach was good. Let's not. I mean, the boom was like the most shitty part about it.
Halo Reach is up
fine.
Halo
Multiplayer and gameplay was good. Halo 4 was actually good too, but the story was just like whatever. This new trilogy was just ass.
We got Thomas. Yeah. We got Thomas in the chat saying Halo Reach is good.
It's
really good. Here's the thing for me is like something I was saying on the pre-show and like say every my general life is like I don't care about Halo, and I feel like that's a big reason why. I'm literally.
Hey, come back!
He does this once a show. Don't worry about it. Just keep going. He does this once a show. It's fine.
But like when I was on the pre-show and I was saying like, oh, I hope Halo starts the show because I really got to take a piss break. The guy on screen with me, like in the like right below me, he had just before talked about like he had his Master Chief helmet. He's so excited. He was like holding it, and then I was like, I gotta take a piss break, and then he like sat. Put it down, and I was like, I'm sorry, I just don't care. Like I played a lot of the first one recently, like 3 years ago for the first time, 2 years ago, with Thomas in the chat, my friend Thomas, and I did think it was really fun. I honestly was like, this is fun, but I've never beyond that really good sheer like infatuation that people feel.
Yeah. I was a teenage boy, which explains my feelings.
Oh, you were? You sure you're not still?
I mean, I felt like a teenage boy again. I was like, like, so I shit. You know, I've been playing Destiny 2 because I was like, hey, I want to play a Bungie game. I want to play a Bungie shooter. I also want to play a game that doesn't have building in it. And it feels really good. And then I saw this Halo trailer and I was like, that's what I want. That's what I'm missing. Like, if they just fucking remastered, like reskinned Halo 3, I'd be like, yeah, all right, done. Because that was the game I put the most time in. That and Smash Brothers. Less Smash Brothers, but that was the game I put the most time in before like Fortnite.
Allegra, I listen. Okay, look, I don't know if you know what it feels like, right? When you hear this, boom, ba-da, boom, boom, you hear that soundtrack come in, and you on the Halo ring, and you in the Warhog with the boys, and you going down. Yo, we gotta stop the Covenant, and you just riding through. You got your boy on the gun going, and it's just like we gotta finish the fight. That right there, that was peak fucking gaming. The midnight releases, the pizza parties, the campaign,
LAN parties,
the money matches on Guardian. Like what you know what it is. Oh my god!
No, but one thing you forgot, Gabe.
Grown folks, Legend of Zelda. That's what Halo is.
I'm a little bit older than you guys, so playing Halo for the first time using both analog sticks. Because if you take it even before that, it was Perfect Dark and GoldenEye, and it was
Yeah.
just one analog stick, and that's it. But it was a game changer with Halo Combat Evolved, man. A game changer. Playing it, I was like, "What in the world is going on?" My character was pointing up because I was not I was not used to that. But it completely changed playing FPS on consoles completely.
Yeah. I mean,
You
it
know,
was a lot of
there was
people's
nothing
introduction to online gaming,
Yeah, and let me tell you, Halo 2 came out. Oh my god, that was just
Woo,
even
woo.
crazier.
Without Halo,
Online
we wouldn't have
multiplayer? Woo.
esports, bro. Like
Yeah.
modern esports. Like
Yeah.
even though
Yeah.
I'm gonna give my respect to the StarCrafts of the world and etc. But Halo is what popularized FPS. Like you had game battles, MLG, final boss, all those things going on right there. Like
Shout to T Square.
I mean, yeah, yo, I mean, I can't. A lot of people like Nate Shot today was on Twitter and he was talking about how the game needs a BR mode because it just feels too dated, like that kind of play style. On
I don't
top of
think
their
so.
regular multiplayer, if they want it to be relevant, right? Because like we had,
No,
go ahead.
No, that's a
I
mistake.
totally
That's a
disagree.
mistake.
I totally
That's-
disagree. That's
Alright,
trend
thank you.
chasing. Halo. The reason Halo was it was a good game because the mechanics were perfect. Like
Yeah.
that was the thing about those games. Like mechanically for an FPS, it was just the best thing out there. There was nothing better. And like a battle royale. What would a Halo battle royale even feel like?
Nah,
Like
I don't want
big
that.
big
I really
team
don't
battle
want that.
times 100. Like was
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why that's a mistake, man. When Halo 3 came out,
boomer.
Modern Warfare was coming out too at the same time. So Halo 3 came out in September. Call of Duty Modern Warfare came out in November. Then after that, Halo, like Bungie was trying to like compete kind of with Modern Warfare and Call of Duty, and it just didn't work out, man. And that to me was just a failure. So if they try to do like a battle royale, I wouldn't want that in the game. I want them to do a new experience, something different that
Yeah,
we have never seen
innovative.
before.
So
Yeah,
I gotta say, I think we can return to Halo, but I do want to
Yeah,
talk
we
about
gotta-
other games.
There's more
Like
stuff.
I think we can reminisce about Halo, but that's not. I mean, like everyone, we have
That's
Halo.
not a
members,
round.
I
That's a
get it.
Halo round table. That's not
Yeah,
an
there you
That's
go.
a
Xbox
Halo round table. Yeah, but I'm curious. So what other games grabbed you guys? Like, I guess like let's go around the room. Starting with Danny.
Ooh, that's a couple, man. The Medium got my attention. Big time.
Yo,
So the developer that worked on that game, they also worked on Layers of Fear, Part 1, Part 2, Blair
Mhm.
Witch. And here's the thing. When you go back to the launch of the Xbox 360, they had a horror game that came out at that time from Sega. It was Condemned. I love that game. That game is a classic. Halo, I think no, I was gonna say Halo. Xbox needs something like that now for this
Mhm.
console. Something different. Doesn't have to be all FPS. Have a horror game like The Medium. It looks really interesting. It reminds me a lot of like Control from Remedy.
yeah,
gave me
I
fear
thought that
vibes.
too.
Yeah, and the game is gonna be available for Xbox Game Pass, so you didn't even have to buy
There's
it.
the industry plant, bro. He's
Yo.
selling the
Right out.
services right
No,
now.
it's-
He's
it's-
selling the services.
No. Because look, Gabe, very
Can I
quick.
get exclamation
Yeah,
point
yeah.
Game Pass in chat? Have you heard about Game Pass?
Oh my god! Look,
Gabe,
man, I have to say this. Game Pass was the highlight of the whole showcase. It was not only Halo Infinite and all the games. It's
Of course.
Game Pass. Because look, you could Paris, shout out to him. He's probably watching right now. But he said this on our podcast a while ago. My co-host. When you buy the NES back in the 80s, it came with a package. It was Mario, Dunk Hunt, the gun, right? So you have everything there, right?
Mhm.
The good thing about this console, even if you have the old console, is you could get an Xbox console, doesn't matter which one you have, and you could still have a package of over 100 games, man. You could play Halo, you could play the Medium, you could play Dragon Quest, you could play whatever you want. You have the choice, man. We didn't have that back in the days, man. And I feel like competition is good. That's gonna force other companies to make changes, man. PlayStation with PlayStation Now, Google with Google Stadia, like it's a good thing, man. So Game Pass was the highlight. 60 minutes of the showcase, every game that they announced, all on Game Pass. First party,
one.
third party.
Yeah.
Day one.
Yeah.
What about you, Allegra?
Like a-
Because you were actually on the show. Do you have anything that you were really excited about?
Well, something I loved from the pre-show, so it wasn't actually in the, was that really weird Square Enix game from
Yo.
from the guys who like Yuji Naka, who made Sonic the Hedgehog, or like who was one of the big Sega guys. Balan Wonderworld. Like that is just such a weird game. It looks a lot like Nights into Dreams from like the Sega Saturn era. So it's like this bizarre, wacky, fantastical musical platformer, and it's just like it felt so out of place to see something, the Halo Infinite event, which is what everyone kept saying this would be. So of course it was like right before the show, but because like this was the time they announced it, like this was the Microsoft, basically. It was just so cool and fun to see that. It's just like one of those really fun, weird games that always show up at like a console launch, and you're like, oh, this is really cool, and probably we'll get a sequel, and probably we'll all just talk about it in 6 years of like, as like, oh, that was a really fun launch title. But it's going to be multi-platform, which is good for people like me who will not be buying an Xbox probably
smart
anytime soon.
Is that also for Game Pass too, or no? Because I missed that part.
Oh, I don't know.
I feel like because it was before the show, so I'm not totally sure. I feel like it probably will be. It's coming out in like next spring or something, so I'm sure they'll try and get.
Cool.
But
Gabe.
I thought
Oh,
Game Pass.
Go on.
Oh, sorry. Before I'll let
go ahead.
Gabe,
Yeah, no, keep going.
No, go on.
before
Go on,
I
go on.
let you go, the one other thing, other than I completely agree with you, Danny, on Game Pass being like huge, something that people are going to have to react to. But I just love ID at Xbox. I just think that's like the coolest thing for them, other than Game Pass. It's just like that whole array of titles. I think there are 15. Majority of them look so unique and fun and interesting, and Game Pass is so great for games like that. Really, probably just worth sampling if you're not going to like want to invest in them on their own.
It will help develop indie developers big time to
100%.
get that push, because there's 10 million subscribers. So imagine you, Gabe, you create a game, it become a hit.
It's actually super interesting because, like, I think last console cycle, PlayStation and Nintendo won the indie
100%.
developers. Like it was like no contest. Like any indie game you were going to play was either going to be on the Switch or on the PS4. And I think it's really heartening to see Xbox Xbox and Microsoft stepping into the indie space again. And like
they
really
silently
picked
up a lot of studios like while this past year was going on.
But you know what's so sad part about that? They were the one that started the whole thing, and then they were supporting it, but they were not really pushing it like Sony and Nintendo. Because I remember playing Castle Crashers.
Woo!
Yo, classic indie games from back in the days. Geometry Wars. I mean, I played that for the first time on launch. Back then, that was one of my favorite titles. It was only $5 when it came out, man. So they pushed it and they stopped. Then PlayStation kept on pushing it, man, with indies, man. Yeah.
I mean, out of the games I saw, of course, as I screamed not that long ago about Halo, that's my one I'm most excited about.
Not that long ago.
Maybe this would be my return to like the hosting scene. Maybe I gotta do some Halo stuff. So the one that stood out to me was the one they announced right after Halo, which was Everwild, which was the game being made by Rare.
Yeah, I was
like that, dude. I was looking at that game. One, it looks freaking gorgeous. I was doing handstands while I was listening to this thing, and I started looking up, and I'm like, what? I'm like, what's this? And I'm like, and I had to stop the whole thing because I'm like, what am I watching? And seeing like those animals and the art, like it kind of felt like a Miyazaki game. Like if it was a Studio Ghibli game, this is the game they're making. And not too much was revealed about it, but from what I saw, I'm like, that game got my entire interest. That's what I'm most excited about. And then also at the end, the biggest tease of them all. Oh wait, guys, we got one more thing to tell you about. It's no big deal. Fable. We're doing Fable, and it's just like, what? You're not gonna show us no goddamn gameplay? The f is this?
No, it's smart. It's smart. It was smart for them to do that.
Yo, they edged me so hard. I was like, oh yes, it's happening. It's happening. I'm like, let's go. Fable.
Okay, first of all, edging implies a release eventually, which hasn't happened. And B, I think, Fable. I was so stoked. I think my favorite, the coolest one that I saw, I was like, oh yeah, this could be cool, is Grounded. Fucking Obsidian making
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
So fun.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids vibe. There you go.
It was such a dumb joke, but I did love how they were like, if you're looking for the biggest game of the year, try Cyberpunk 2077.
Yes, that was awesome. That was so good.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's
But I saw somebody build a house and I was like, oh, Fortnite? But then I was like, wait, this gameplay looks tight.
Go on.
Another interesting one was the fact that this game is probably one of the biggest games in the world, and no one really knows about it because it's a mobile game, and now they actually have a console version, Crossfire. Yeah. Crossfire is a massive franchise. Like if you go on YouTube right now, it's probably the #1 game being streamed. It's pretty much another PUBG clone. And it's like massive in Brazil, massive in South America,
in China
in China too, in China too.
Yeah.
And
This,
now,
this is also by Remedy, the studio that made Control. Like, it's the same guys.
which is like, it's interesting to me. Like, I think this is tied, unless the X at the end is to separate it from the actual game I'm thinking about. I think this may just be them adding a story to that game. Who knows? Because I heard some. I may have been reading a headline wrong, but I know somebody acquired rights to Crossfire or something like that. Maybe it was Microsoft and like they like put this onto somebody else or whatever it is. But and then also the new Phantasy Star Online 2 expansion. Like,
Woo! Yo,
that was
Gabe.
come on.
Yo,
Like I remember, bro.
I love Phantasy Star Online.
Dude, when
I started internet radio because of the original game.
I remember you telling me your story.
Dreamcast.
Like, like I played Phantasy Star Online when it was on Xbox 360. I had a sweat to find a copy of that game because it was like so difficult to find. When I finally found it, it was great. And like Phantasy Star Online 2 has been out for years now, and it's finally made its way to the West.
Hold on, sorry. To go back to Crossfire, I was wrong about the developer. It's developed by Smilegate. No idea.
Is it published by Remedy? Because I saw Remedy on that trailer.
Yeah, me too.
As the next title from Remedy, Control Alan Wake.
Remedy is using its world building skills to create the single player campaign. So it is a single player campaign
for Crossfire.
Actually in Crossfire X.
Okay.
Interesting.
Dude, biggest game in the world that nobody knows about.
I know, because everybody's like, oh, Fortnite, no, and they don't know anything about this game.
No, nothing about it.
Now, I want to say something very quick because I had this conversation with my co-host. I think this is very important because I need to bring this up. When I read online like the feedback about the showcase, everybody was like, "Oh, it's not enough. They didn't show a lot of gameplay."
It's not enough.
No, but the reason why people were saying that, they don't understand. Xbox really want to push Halo Infinite, which I get. That's like their main game. I get that.
Their staple.
I get that. But this is chapter one. This is chapter one of the story of what Xbox is going to do. Because let me tell you, originally they were going to announce Perfect Dark for this event.
Yeah.
But they need to have content for August. And the reason is Sony's doing the same exact thing, saving stuff for August because that's where they're going to announce the date and the price for both consoles. So this is chapter one for both companies, and we're going to get to see more stuff from now to launch.
Allegra, being on the actual Xbox broadcast, etc., right? And you've seen both press conferences, Sony and this one. Which one you think was the most jam-packed one, the one that actually had content to offer to the people who are going to be buying these things?
I keep going back to your point of like, it's hard to remember the Sony.
Thank you. That's so
But
wait.
Let her finish.
But see, that's the thing. Like when people remind me of things that were on it, Stray, which was like an Annapurna game about a stray cat, that was from the PS5 event. That looked. There's always things that if you bring it up, it's like, oh yeah. But the presentation itself just like didn't stand out. So this, I feel like, oh, I'll remember there was Halo, there was the Medium, there was that Fable tease idea. Like it's easier to remember like the whole summation of what they showed this time. So I feel like it is a better presentation on that basis.
Yeah.
But I'm a PS5 girl, so I'm biased. You can show me 2 games I want. Not a PS5 girl. I'm not buying any of these freaking 40 things. But I'm a PlayStation person and a Nintendo person. So it's just like if there's one game and it's like they won. But Xbox, it's like you have to really sell me. Like I don't know. I'm just not ever X-boy. I don't know what you call. I don't even.
An X-boy.
Xbot. I guess that's what people say.
Xbot. So, yeah.
No. Look. I get it. Look, Gabe, we had this conversation when I had you on my podcast, and you were saying all these things about Sony. Look, man, Sony, they're in a really comfortable place right now, in a comfortable spot. This generation, nonstop first-party exclusive, that classics. Every single one of them, the majority of them, were really, really good. Really good. And now they're ending it now with Ghost of Tsushima. That game looks phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
It forced Xbox to invest money into acquiring studios, and now they have to make changes because of that. So competition is good, man. I don't care if you're a Sony, Xbox, Nintendo fan. This is good overall for us, man. For us as gamers, fan of games, this is good. Now we have the options like, hey, Gabe, you want Xbox? Go with Xbox. Allegra, you like Sony? Go with Sony. But at least there's competition. There's going to force these companies to make better content, better services for all of us, man.
Well, the thing that like now where we're at and where Xbox is going, you don't have to get an Xbox like Allegra said. Like all this stuff is packaged into, if you didn't know, Game Pass industry plan. You could just spend like $5 to $15 to get Game Pass on your PC. It's coming to your phone because you're gonna get the xCloud, etc. So all you really need to own technically is a PlayStation or a Switch if you really want something outside of the ecosystem, because you're getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of games with Game Pass, which is like, it goes into my theory that it's not going to happen now, but eventually consoles are going to be obsolete and they're just going to be around just to be part of like the brand image. Not that you have to get any of them. Like Sony's going to be the slowest one to develop. I was telling somebody today, I'm like, on day one, if I had to pick between an Xbox and a PlayStation, I'm either going to have to spend almost close to a G to really like enjoy a PlayStation 5 experience, because maybe they'll have like 4 titles you can play at launch, but I think they're only having one that's a PS5 exclusive. Like that's 65.
But which game?
Spider-Man. That's the only one you could get.
All right, pause on that. That game was originally for a PlayStation 4 game.
I was setting you up right there, see, because I know we talk about it off camera.
Yeah.
But like if you had to get all the launch titles they were available, you're gonna spend almost $1,000, right, to play the PlayStation. Where you can get the Xbox for, let's say it's $500, right? You only have to spend like $5-10 to get Game Pass, and you have hundreds of titles to play that are available specifically for the Xbox, the new Series one. So it's just like $500 some, $600 to $900. Like I'm like, dude, these things are too expensive. You might as well just build a fucking PC at that point when you're getting to those prices.
Yeah, it is interesting. I mean, I gotta say, I think Game Pass is the best deal in gaming right now, and it's also like it, as you've just mentioned, it is incredibly far looking. Like they are setting themselves up. Like it's big brain shit. And it's like, this is the same market that Google is trying to corner right now with Stadia, which no one is playing because it's like hitchy and sort of weird and stuff. But yeah, I think it's funny because like I'm now like this Xbox event has gotten me back into the console wars. Like I'm actually like I'm for it now. Like I think, and it's funny because like I have an Xbox One sitting in a box right over here, so I can just get Game Pass and I'm good, right? Like I can play games.
Yeah.
I can just switch over to the next generation without having to actually upgrade. I'm interested to see also like what Nintendo is about to do. I don't know. I feel
Switch
like
Pro, let's go.
I feel like they always come in.
They're good.
They all come in like a year late to a console cycle, and they just crush it.
Hey
but
guys,
I also
we're just showing up with our last gen console just to show you that next gen doesn't really matter.
I feel like what Nintendo is going to do, because they're not about parts. Like yes, they're always a little bit behind, but the Switch is in such a good place. I think what Nintendo needs to do that Sony, I don't think, and isn't really properly thinking about, is they have to react to Game Pass. Like Nintendo is the one that really figured out streaming in any capacity, like the fact that there's no freaking even Netflix, like regardless of games. So if Nintendo can figure out some kind of Game Pass equivalent for Switch, I feel like it's going to be like killer for them.
Yeah, but it's like every Nintendo game is a hit. That's the thing.
But they're also piloting it via the old emulation software, like the SNES Online stuff. That is actually a great experience, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're building like a sort of like up until like the Nintendo, like the Wii or something, or the Wii U.
It'd be so great to get all the GameCube games.
They have their bench is so fucking deep.
It's stacked, dude.
And now the rumor, what's the rumor of the 35th anniversary of Mario? That's something that's coming out supposedly this year.
Remastering those.
So Mario Sunshine, Mario Galaxy,
RPG,
dude. I mean, look, Nintendo, they're not competing with Sony or Xbox. They're in their own, their own lane. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
They're really the only people who can shift the market, though, right? Because they're the third. They're the third part of this pendulum. They're the people who, like, if they go to like cloud shit, Sony is fucked. Like, you know what I mean? It's like if Sony ties its stuff to a console, that's it.
Yeah, but I mean, so Sony had to make changes with their cloud streaming, and that's why they got together with Microsoft to use their servers for PlayStation now. And I think that's a good thing, man. I think that's a good thing, man. If Nintendo announces something like that for the Switch, because they've done cloud gaming in Japan,
of course,
game changer for Nintendo.
Real quick, Allegra, just to let you know, can you keep the microphone closer to you? Because I think your noise gate is too high. Zune was just saying in chat that we've been losing you a little bit.
It's not the noise. It's not just the noise. It's probably you probably have noise suppression enabled on Discord. It's like the little wave button. Just click it.
So we can't even hear you right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's doing Discord is doing the
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally just if it's where it says video connected, just click the little wave button and it should fix
noise
that.
suppression by Crisp.
Now I
We were talking about this at work. Go on. Yeah, no, that's
No,
important. I was gonna fill.
I was going to ask you guys a question, like for both companies, Sony and Sony and Xbox. What is it that? How many games do you think, as a fan of the both consoles, how many games do you think they should release on day one? Because when I had a conversation with Peter Moore, I had him on the show last year to talk about the 20th anniversary of Sega Dreamcast. He said the mistake they did back in 1999 was they released too many games on day one. So then there was months that there was no games. The thing that worked out for Nintendo, Allegra, was every month they had an exclusive game for over a year. Mario Kart, they had Zelda, a bunch of other games, right? And it worked out for Nintendo. It was like a big thing for them. But with Sony and Xbox, how many games they should release on day one, in your opinion?
I do want to say with the Sega Dreamcast, like Sega was going under, and that was their last ditch effort. So I understand why they launched it. They were like, everyone needs to buy this thing now. So I get it. But I think a couple launch titles are fine. I mean, like the thing about gaming now is like I have such a huge backlog of games that I gotta play. Like, fuck, man, I could like spend a year just going through the things that I've been meaning to play, like in my Steam library, like only my Steam library, you know. So I'm fine with a few launch titles that are really well done. Gabe, what do you think?
My brain just farted. What was the question one more time?
No. How many games do you think Xbox or PlayStation should release on day one?
Xbox is releasing over 100 titles on day one.
No, but that's
you mean like first? You mean like first party?
First party, yeah, okay. Exactly.
I think that a good balance, depending on what it is, like, right? Like Halo's gonna give them a lot of time because it's gonna have story and multiplayer, so they have a lot of fill time before the next game. I think that Spider-Man is not a day one release game for Sony.
No, it is
like that. That is definitely not like you should not be starting with that game. You need to come with something strong and hot.
Why not?
It's because because we've already it's the same game. Like it's not really that different from what just came out like last year.
Think of it as an expansion, but it's going to be 10 to 15 hours.
Okay, but is an expansion a day one release for a console? Like that's why you're buying this. I'm buying the console to play the expansion of Spider-Man.
Spider-Man was a pretty big game for PlayStation 4.
It was, but we already played it. So why am I playing the same game again?
Miles Morales, man. Like
I'm fine. I'm gonna play as I'm a Miles boy, but I'm just saying if I'm spending
everyone loves Miles Morales here,
dude. I'm from Brooklyn. This is real, bro. Like if I'm spending $500 to get this console and I'm playing a game that I just played last year again, like I'm not like that. Just makes no sense to me. Like you need to have real fucking content.
Gabe, you're gonna be a day one console owner?
No, not if that's the game. Not if that's the game. Like you gotta come at least 5 titles.
So you've decided to buy a PlayStation, is what I'm hearing from you.
I mean, if I am gonna buy a console, even though I'm standing Xbox hard right now, because I'm just gonna get Halo Infinite on my PC. I'm not gonna play it on console. I'm gonna get the PlayStation. Even though I'm saying all these things, if I have to buy something, I have to buy the PlayStation because there's no reason for me to buy an Xbox. I have a PC.
I like that Microsoft has conceded the console war, like the hardware war, for the software war. They've like changed battlegrounds.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this PlayStation has its own version of the yellow light of doom. Man, we don't know what's gonna have.
One of them has a slot and one of them does not. That's all I know about the PS5.
It's so ugly.
Thank you.
No.
It has a freaking hump. The one with the disc drive has a hump. Like it literally is. They're afraid to let go of the physical media part, which I understand, and I feel like that's honestly kind of good for like people who don't have great high-speed internet. But it's also like, you know, Microsoft is just like the cloud, Game Pass, like this is how we're gonna do things. We really think like meet us on our level. And Sony's like, we'll step in, but we're not going all the way, which is why also like the launch lineup is not that interesting. Like Sony's not going all the way in.
What's the thing you remember from the Sony press conference? The Seto Kaiba meme, where Kaiba's on top of the freaking there's
pretty good.
All those games that are coming out that were announced at that press conference, we're not seeing for a while. Like the best game that'll be on PS5 will be Cyberpunk 2077. That'll literally be the best game on it.
I wouldn't. Look, Cyberpunk. It's a big game. It's a big game.
That's a
But
big
I'm
game.
talking
Huh?
about, but first party, I think Ratchet and Clank is a pretty good game.
Oh,
look,
that's a
in
game
my
for the
opinion-
forgotten era, bro.
In my opinion, I think that was the highlight of the whole press conference.
Because that's the only highlight they had. It was just look at this Ratchet and Clank game.
They showed
That's a take.
gameplay and everything, man. But
Wait,
look. Yeah.
Okay,
look,
go on.
I have
What's
you
this?
can't see it. That's
This is
Project
Mixer?
S Cloud. Project S Cloud.
Guys, if you didn't know, he's also has Project X Cloud, and he's also
Yo.
shilling
Yeah.
for Project X Cloud right now too.
Industry
Bunch.
plant confirmed.
Thank you. You see it?
It's not. No.
This guy's a plant. He gets all the interviews of all the people at Xbox that no one gets. He gets the exclusive.
No,
This guy
and
is a
Nintendo.
plant.
And Nintendo.
Now at
Wait.
Nintendo,
And
Wait,
Nintendo.
can I
Look,
go ahead and say we're
Yeah,
talking
go
about
ahead.
takes, right? We're talking about
Yeah.
takes. Allegra just dropped a hot ass fucking take in our Discord
oh yeah,
right now. It
Oh.
says today at 8:15 p.m. Nintendo will beat Xbox, and this is my TED talk in all caps.
valid.
Allegra, please explain. Take us home.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Nintendo's just going to beat everyone. Like, look at where the Switch is right now. Constantly growing because it does have the hardware and the software. Like, literally, what we're talking about is Xbox is shying away from the hardware. They know that the Xbox Series X, first of all, is a stupid ass name, and it's a stupid ass ugly PC tower. Like, that's not what they're trying to do.
Whoa,
Game Pass is
No,
cool.
let her talk.
It's
Let her talk.
Game Pass is cool and it's cheap and it's a subscription service, but as we all are saying, like, you can get those games on your PC. Like, I don't have to actually pay Xbox anything beyond Game Pass, and
Yeah.
I would be fine.
But they're still
PlayStation
making
4,
money.
they're still making money, but still, like, I'm not gonna invest in your freaking ass hardware.
Yeah.
The PlayStation 5, like, they don't really know what they want from you. They don't know if they want you to go buy the discs. They don't know if they want you to download the games. I don't think they know if they want you to buy the console because it looks so horrendous. I don't want that in my house.
Thank
But
you.
and the launch lineup is pretty paltry, and I think
Don't
it's just,
even
like,
remember it.
that's kind of always been Sony's MO, and I'm sure it will pick things up like next year and whatever. It's kind of a weird time right now. Anyway, but Nintendo has like really individual, interesting hardware. It has exclusives. Like, no one is really talking about like a strong set of exclusives. I think Xbox did have a good lineup today, but a lot of those are playable on PC. Nintendo's the only one where you can play Mario, Zelda, Splatoon, Pokemon, etc. And they're always going to own that. Plus, the Switch is just like a universally interesting piece of
Everybody
hardware.
loves it. Everybody
Everyone
loves
loves it.
Yeah.
Like, it
It's
will
the best
always
thing to bring to
be-
a party.
Just like
Yeah.
how everyone had a Wii because it was like, I'm going to have my PlayStation 3 or my Xbox, and then also I have to have my Wii. Like, that's how the Switch is. And therefore, just like the Wii won in terms of sales, in terms of like how endemic it was, like in the culture, you know, like how easy it is to recognize that thing. Like, I think the Switch is going to be in the same place. So like, whatever, Xbox can do what it's doing, but I think to most people in the world, it's like, I can't distinguish this from an Xbox One, partially because the name is just shitty and bad. But like,
Yeah, the
same
name is
with,
terrible.
same with PS5. Like, I can't distinguish
They
this.
should have
from
just called it
PS4.
the. I know. It's like we're getting to the point where these consoles, like Nintendo has, you know, they went away from like, oh, we're not gonna do the Wii U anymore, right? That was a dumb name. We'll do the Nintendo Switch. People need to start like we're getting to PS5. Next year will be PS6. Like, when do we just rebrand and say, all right, this is PlayStation? Like,
Probably,
when is,
next,
this
probably
is
the
just
next
X,
one, honestly.
right?
But,
Because
Yeah. Go ahead.
like
Okay,
just like
sorry.
simplifying the names and like getting down to like, yo, we're going to a new generation, it's a new decade. You know, no one, everybody knows we're not talking about the original fat Xbox. This is Xbox. That's it. Like, we don't have to do
Yeah,
these weird fancy names.
And the brand, I guess the brands are becoming more important, which was always the thing with Nintendo. It's like, that is a Nintendo. We called consoles Nintendos for moms called consoles Nintendos
Yeah.
for a very long time.
Not the
because, like,
Nintendo.
that was right. And it's like Nintendo is still synonymous with games in the US, like in a way that like nothing else really is.
Yeah, globally too.
And the thing about the Switch is like, it's like what, like near the end of its life cycle, maybe, but we don't even fucking know that for sure.
oh
Like,
no, it's
Xbox,
not.
PlayStation, they're like coming out with new fucking hardware. The Switch is still fresh, bro. Like, it did
Mhm.
like, the thing that still floors me, I think, of any sort of console marketing, the Switch was the most accurate. Like, remember back in the day, like, it was just like, yeah, like, you can take this thing to a party and play Mario Kart or whatever with your friends outside. You can actually do that. Like, the controller clicking thing actually still fucking works. And it's like, it's kind of incredible that the biggest issue the Switch has is Joy-Con drift. And they're like, actually, we'll just repair that for free. Like, congrats. You
Mhm.
you own this piece of hardware. You are one of the chosen. I don't know. It's one of those things that like really like they're playing a different fucking game than Microsoft and
They're
Sony
playing
in
for
a way
your
that
heart, bro. They're playing for your heart.
and like I mean look inside your heart. Like you're a Nintendo person first. Doesn't matter if you're an Xbox or a PlayStation. That's where
Like,
you
yeah,
are.
yeah.
No,
yeah.
you're right. You're right.
Wow.
And look, they're
And
in
that's his TED talk.
they're and they're in a different level, totally
Just,
different
oh.
level. So, look, Nintendo Switch is selling more than PlayStation in Japan. Xbox, forget it. Xbox is like in last place over there in Japan, but Nintendo's doing. Look, in my opinion, Nintendo Switch is my favorite console of this generation, more than Xbox, more than PlayStation.
You mean of last generation because it's technically from
Well,
last generation.
Well, the next generation hasn't come out yet, so
Yeah.
so
It's
we're
current
still
gen,
present.
current
So
gen. Current
current
gen.
gen is the best in my opinion. I played.
Yeah.
Look, I played The Witcher 3 on
Oh my
on
god.
Nintendo Switch more than my other consoles
Yeah.
because I was
because
always
they-
traveling. I was always traveling, taking the game
Also,
with me.
as it turns out, playing games in bed as a marketing strategy is genius.
The best. The best. I don't want to sit
and-
up.
And when you go out, when you're traveling, or if you have to go to the bathroom, hey, take the take the Switch.
Yo,
with you. Like,
you gotta-
hey,
Yo, when you gotta
Hey.
drop a brownstone, you pull up your game and you just start playing. Like, it's
Yeah,
no
bro, I
problem,
can-
dude.
I can slam on Fortnite anywhere, bro.
Yeah, I'm
If I got
busting
Wi-Fi,
90s while I'm just like, whoa.
30 FPS is a small price to pay.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Look, Nintendo Switch is a game changer. I think that's the reason, honestly, that's the reason why it forced Xbox to make changes and have their games and their services also available on mobile and tablet. It is because of Nintendo, man.
Yeah.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
a
And I
huge
think it's
brand
gonna
take.
work out. Yeah.
I think you're right, though. I mean, I think Nintendo is the only game company that consistently tries to innovate with every generation. Like the Wii U, huge weird misstep, but like you can see it was the precursor to the Switch. Like the Wii U gamepad was the Switch. That was the same form factor and
Yeah.
everything.
Mhm.
And like it's funny. Like they missed that gen and it was fine. And like, but the Wii was also a smash hit, right? Like the Wii was
Oh
like
yeah.
that changed everything.
But John, you know what it was? That the original Wii sold a lot of consoles, not a lot of software.
Well,
right?
yeah. I mean, you
The
have a lot of
Wii-
people also jailbroke their Wii so they could play any game.
That
any-
too. But
That
there was
was
a lot
very real
of there
thing.
was a lot of new people that started playing video games because of the Wii, but they
Oh,
were
yeah.
not buying software, right? So the Wii U
Come
came
on now,
out.
Wii Fit Trainer, bro. People
Yeah.
getting
the,
the fitness.
the Wii U came out and people were confused. My cousin actually went to the store, bought the new Mario Kart, thinking it was going to work for her Wii. And I'm like, no, that's a
Yeah.
Wii U title. It was very confusing, but
Yeah.
the Wii U had a lot of great content, which they re-released again on the
For the
Switch,
Mhm.
and it was a huge hit.
So
So
Nintendo doesn't fucking miss.
no, they don't.
They do. They do miss. They do
Look,
miss.
I feel like
I.e. their Smash netcode is trash.
Yo,
You
did
can't
wait,
even play
Oh,
Smash
right.
online.
Did you see Melee got rollback and like it changed everything for Melee players?
Yeah. Everybody's playing Melee online right now on the
Yeah,
computers
because
and stuff.
that shit rips.
Nintendo
look,
misses on anything online. Everything else, they're fine.
Yeah, but like if they figure out that online shit, like we're talking. This is an Xbox roundtable, and we
I
just
know,
defended-
and it's evolved. I just want to point out because it is Splatoon's birthday, right? So it's their birthday apparently. Like,
It is today.
yeah.
Oh, my favorite
Wait,
game.
how many years now? How many
Three
years?
years
Oh,
old.
okay. So,
Like when Splatoon came out, right? You had to download an app to talk to your friends
You still do.
Wow.
which is just like what year are we in? Like this, like we're in 28, 17, 18 that game came out. Like, why are we still doing this? Like, dude, you have a great example of how online should work in the Xbox and PlayStation. This doesn't make any sense. Why are you guys just not like hiring the right engineers to like make these things a thing? I don't know. It always blew my mind.
Still, look, we have Olivia in chat saying, "I'm playing Splatoon right now." Look, guys, Nintendo won.
Blat. That's the real winner. Nintendo won, Xbox 2, PlayStation non-existent.
PlayStation played a different race, but I think we could keep going forever. I think it's 8:30. Shall we? Shall we call it Nintendo wins the Xbox roundtable?
Nintendo wins.
for
Nintendo
thi-
won the Xbox event. Yeah.
For this generation, yes. For this generation, yes. But I think the next generation is going to be interesting because I don't know what Nintendo's going to do next. So
Yo,
but
Switch Pro, bro, get ready.
So I hope they announce that because I will buy that day one, man. I'm a huge Nintendo fan.
That'll
More than
change.
anything else.
That will change everything. Switch Pro. If
I
you
would-
can get
yeah.
like
But they
actual
need to-
today experiences.
They need to work on their online services. Once they figure that out, a game changer for Nintendo. Game changer. They have the content. That's all they need. Hello, they have a park, Universal Studios, Nintendo Land. PlayStation, Xbox don't have that.
Yo,
They
can we
don't
bring
have
back
that.
Nintendogs though? Can we get Nintendogs
Yeah,
back?
what the
Yeah.
hell?
That would
let
be
me
cool.
watch
That would
them
be
all.
cool.
Yes.
That would be cool. That would be
Like
cool.
I'm
All
done
right.
with Animal Crossing, but it's just trash. Let me get some Nintendogs going.
No, you what it is? You have your beef with Nuke. That's what it is, man.
Yo, Nook has been robbing us cold, hand over fist for too long, and every time we allow this to happen, he's a New York landlord and a mafia.
From the Bronx.
fucking
From the
di-
Bronx.
Straight up. Let me just grease these hands. Ruga. Nah, you got to give me some of that. I need some money off that. Oh, by the way, I need you to build these houses for other people, even though I am the moving company who have all. You need to build this for me. Like, how do we get, like what? Like, this don't make no sense. Anyway.
But one last thing. I know we're gonna wrap it up in a few. I just want to say this. I think this was a great start for Xbox. We're gonna get to see more.
Industry
I
plan.
know, and Sony is gonna announce some stuff too in August. Look, this is gonna be a great time for us gamers. Look, this year has been one of the most shittiest year ever for everybody worldwide, gamer or not. I'm happy. I get to see a lot of content from Nintendo, Xbox, and Sony, and it's gonna get better for this year, man. It's been better than movies, music, video games took over, man, this year.
It's true. Yeah, I
So-
think that's the top line summary of 2020. Everything went to shit, but playing video games is still fucking good.
Yes, yes, it's the truth. Animal Crossing was the beginning of COVID. It was like around that time. Game changer, yo.
Oh, game changer. All right, y'all. I think that wraps our panelists, roundtablists. Thank you so much for being here, Danny and Allegra. Gabe, thank you also for being here and being my co-host. Guys, wait, okay, so we do have one last piece of business to wrap up before we wrap up, which is we should raid somebody.
Oh,
'cause that's
yeah.
what we do on the show.
Do
So
we
is your
have
boy
anybody?
Gabe?
Nah, he's not on right now. I
Okay.
checked with him.
So Danny or Allegra, do you have anyone on Twitch that you'd
Matter,
like?
matter of fact, wait, I
nope.
think I have somebody.
Nobody
Hold on.
from my
I don't know
wait,
who's online.
I
you
think.
know what?
Check too.
Let me see.
Wait. Let me see. Is he streaming right now? Caveman Power.
Everyone just went to Twitch. Everyone navigated to Twitch.tv.
Real quick.
Yeah, literally.
Oh, okay. Actually, I do have someone live right now. This is
I was gonna say I got So Cooley's up. So we could raid Cooley. I think I like. There are a couple people that I like that are up. What do you think, Gabe?
I would like to raid my friend Caveman because he's been grinding Valorant hard and he's now like got to like 30 concurrents after like 8-hour shifts every day doing this thing. So I would like to give him a little bit of a boost because he's like trying to do this full time. If we can all agree on that, if that's okay.
Go for it. I don't care.
Do it.
All right,
Go for it.
Perfect.
Yeah, hit the raid. All right,
Go.
Gabe, hit the raid command, and I'll do the rest of the spiel.
All right, how do you
Ready?
raid? I don't even know how to do. How do you do the raid command?
Just /raid and then his username.
Oh wait, but do I have to put the username next to the raid or I'd put a space?
No. Put /raid space username.
Okay. got it.
Also, everyone who's watching still, thank you so much for being here. Please come with us on this raid. We are nearly done.
Oh, I don't have permission to do that.
Okay, let me do it.
Caveman Power, CAVEMAN, capital PWR.
Got it. Okay, guys, thank you so much for coming by. Hope to see you next week. Please come back. We'll be right here next Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/368NYC. And on Wednesday, come by at 7 p.m. to peep the next segment of GG's, our sister show. Holly and Nars are taking on Ghost of Tsushima, which is going to be fucking great because they're actually gamers and we just run round tables.
Yeah,
Thank you
I
for
just play
tuning in.
chess.
Thank you for tuning in. Follow us on fucking line. You know where to find us. We will catch you all soon. Panelists, thank you again. And get the fuck out of my house.
Wow.
What?